of Jan McTeer.
Yeah, Janet McTeer was nominated for Tumbleweeds in 2000 for Best Actress.
That's right, and she didn't win that year.
No.
Who won that year, in fact?
Hilary Swank, Boys Don't Cry.
That's right. That was the first of 2 Academy Awards she would win later on for $1 Million Baby. Anyway, I gotta say, the supporting ladies in this year's awards, they're very strong characters up and down the list. What would you say characterize it?
I think definitely strong women.
You know, especially you have one woman, Jessica Chastain, who's had probably the most incredible year for any actress in 2011. Not only was she considered for The Help, she was also considered for Take Shelter, Coriolanus, and The Tree of Life. So she really has had probably the biggest breakout year of the 5 nominees. Octavia Spencer, however, I loved her character. And the fact that both Jessica and Octavia's characters interacted a lot. They had a lot of screen time together. Jessica's character was the very progressive woman in the South who treated black people equally and not as though they were second or third rate people. What about the other ladies?
Well, you got Bernice Bejo, who is playing a silent film artist and an up-and-coming dancer. Then Melissa McCarthy, forget it. Another breakout year. She won the Emmy back in September for Mike and Molly. I mean, I don't think there was one person in Hollywood who would have expected that she'd be nominated for an Oscar for this movie.
I know, because she's sort of like the female equivalent of Zach Galifianakis in Bridesmaids. You know?
Definitely.
It's almost like the same gritty character, very dirty, cursing left and right, talking about flatulence and all bodily functions, and she pretty much was Zach, but she did with, I think, a lot more flair than what Zach did.
If you watch her in this movie, you can understand why she's nominated, because it's hilarious. She's unbelievable, really. It's very worthy of an Oscar. There should be more comedic performances that are nominated for Academy Awards.
And the thing is, there's one woman that I think we both can agree is probably not going to be the least likely to win, but should just be happy to be nominated, as Jan McTeer.
Yeah.
She's a great stage actress from England. She portrayed, just like Glenn Close's character, a woman pretending to be a man, and and she did it very well, but in my mind, probably not well enough to receive this year's Oscars.
Maybe if Octavia Spencer maybe wasn't in the category, or Melissa McCarthy or Bernice Bejo, maybe if it was a weaker category, she might have had a shot any other year to win the award, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
But in the end, I think it's going to be Octavia. Let's look at what happened in the precursor awards. She's won the Broadcast Film Critics. She's won the Golden Globe. She's won the SAG Award. I wouldn't be surprised, however, at BAFTA if there's a possible upset in that category.
I can see it.
With Berenice Bejo. Actually, no, Berenice is nominated for Best Actress. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of an upset. Maybe Jessica Chastain winning BAFTA. But in the end, she's on the road to winning this year's Oscars.
I would say so. I would say the only possible upsets would be Bernice or maybe Melissa McCarthy, actually, because, like I said, I think the Academy would want to show everyone who's watching that, look, we're finally recognizing a comedic performance, and we're going to give him the Oscar.
And the nominees for Best Supporting Actor are Christopher Plummer in Beginners.
I'm gay.
I remember him wearing a purple sweater when he told me this, but actually he wore a robe.
I'm gay.
He was gay the whole time they were married. Oliver.
Max von Sydow for Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Jonah Hill for Moneyball.
I'm just kidding.
Nick Nolte for Warrior.
You were good at. Frank, I need this.
Kenneth Branagh for My Week with Maryland.
Introduce a woman who clearly needs no introduction. A very great actress on her first trip.
I have to say, of the 5 men in this category, Christopher Plummer stands out.
Absolutely, 100%. I think this is all Christopher Plummer. He's got the category. It's going to kind of be like Morgan Freeman in 2005 when he won for $1 Million Baby, because I think this is someone who's only was nominated once 2 years ago for The Last Station, playing Leo Tolstoy.
Yep.
And the guy's never been nominated before that, and I think this is their way of finally saying, thank you, here's your Oscar.
and he's going to be one of the few guys to do something that's very impossible in the entertainment industry. He's going to win this year the Triple Crown of Entertainment Awards. He's won back in I think it was 1977 a Tony Award for playing Cyrano and Cyrano de Bergerac. He won an Emmy I think in the 80s. I forgot the exact role it was.
It might have been a TV movie.
A TV movie, yes. I think it was a TV movie, a drama.
Yeah.
And now he'll win the Academy Award. It's very difficult. Not many actors in the industry have done it, so he'll be able to accomplish that feat. And, his character, Hal, he plays a 79-year-old who comes out to his son that he's gay, after the death of his wife of 50 years. And, he tells his son, this is who I am. And after that, he begins to explore his sexuality. For Nick Nolte, his second nomination too, or his third nomination. My bad.
Yeah.
And his third nomination, one of his roles, he played an alcoholic cop in one of his films.
Affliction.
And this time, he plays an alcoholic too, who's trying to train his son to be an MMA fighter and win the 16-man tournament. And the son that he trains is Tom Hardy, who is a Iraq War veteran who is in the Marines, coming back trying to rebuild his life. And so Nick Nolte's character is amazing in that regard. And then we have Kenneth Branagh, who is nominated for playing another iconic Academy Award actor, the great Sir Laurence Olivier.
Yes.
In My Week with Marilyn. The last time he was nominated, I think, was for a short live film.
Yeah, I think in 1996, and this is actually his fifth nomination in the fifth different category. So,
Yeah, he was nominated twice for Henry V as actor and director that same year, and he was also nominated. This is his second acting nomination.
Yeah.
His first of Best Supporting, like I said. So he's a very good actor. He's been in the industry for a long time. He actually directed Thor, which came out
he did
last year. So he's multi-talented, good actor.
Yeah,
but
definitely knows what he's doing.
And it's very tough though to play another actor like Sir Laurence Olivier. Come on, the greatest Shakespearean actor, the greatest screen actor of all time.
Yeah, I can't imagine taking that on because just Laurence Olivier in general, and he had a reputation for being a very larger-than-life personality.
So right there, in the end though, like we said in the very beginning, it's going Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Congratulations, Christopher. Well deserved. I can't wait to see you get the first Oscar of the evening because they always do Best Supporting Actor in the very beginning. Now that we talked about the supporting categories, we're going to go into the lead actor and actress in a few minutes. But before we go to the break, here's a bit of Oscar trivia for you. Which one of the 5 lead acting nominees was also nominated for Best Director in 2006? The answer after this break.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Jose and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
Welcome back to Eric's View. Before we went to the break, we had a bit of Oscar trivia for you. And the question was, which one of the 5 lead acting nominees for this year's Oscars was also nominated back in 2006 for Best Director? And what is the answer, Andrew?
The answer is George Clooney for Good Night and Good Luck, which was about the Red Scare and Edward R. Murrow's war with Joseph McCarthy.
An incredible movie. David Strathairn played the iconic journalist Edward R. Murrow, and George Clooney was actually in the film too as one of the studio heads.
Yeah,
and it was just the line itself, good night and good luck. That was his tagline whenever he ended his broadcast.
Yeah, I think he knew they were going to make a movie about it, so he made that his tagline.
And he was an iconic journalist. We got into that question because we're into the lead acting awards. These are the main characters of the film. The people that the whole story centers around. And we're going to start like we did in the supporting awards with the with the lead actress award. And the nominees for Best Lead Actress is
Glenn Close for Albert Nobbs.
Hubert Page is working in the morning, and he's come over and asked us for a bed.
With me, Mum.
Yes, Mr. Nobbs.
Viola Davis for The Help.
These women raise white children, but they can't even use the toilets in our houses.
Minnie, are you in there? You are fired!
Rooney Mara for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Michelle Williams from My Week with Marilyn.
Not ready.
Excuse my horrible face.
A few days in my life when a dream came true.
Are you frightened of me, Colin?
No.
Good, because I like you.
Meryl Streep for The
Meryl
Iron
Streep
Lady.
for the Iron Lady.
So they become your character.
Prime Minister?
Shoulders back, tummies in.
And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny.
But you know what? All great actresses this year. Just like the supporting, not as strong maybe, but in my mind, you know,
Yeah, pretty strong.
pretty strong ladies. Very incredible ladies we have this year. We have one first-time nominee, Rooney Mara, for her role as Lisbeth Salander in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, based on the Millennium Trilogy, adapted from the books from Lars Kristig it's very hard. It's Swedish as the name to pronounce the name the author of the Millennium Trilogy, but it's based on those 3 books. And her character is one of the best investigative minds. She can remember facts and dates without having to read it for so long.
Yeah.
And she plays an integral part in helping Mikhail Blomkvist solve the greatest mystery in that film about the Vonder family and the Vonger families. And we also have Viola Davis, who plays Abilene, a housemaid just like Octavia Spencer's character, who works for a black family and sees the injustice around her in 1950s Jim Crow Mississippi, and decides to tell her story to Skeeter, who is a up-and-coming journalist for the Jackson Journal.
Played by Emma Stone, right?
Emma Stone. And she was good, but not worthy enough of a nomination. But I could see in a few years where Emma Stone will eventually get her due in Hollywood.
Maybe.
And also we have Meryl Streep, who played the iconic Prime Minister and the very first female Prime Minister of England, Margaret Thatcher. And
Her 17th nomination. She has the record for the most acting nods out of anyone, not just men or women.
She is an incredible woman. So this is actually her 14th lead actress nomination.
Yes.
The last time she was nominated wasn't for
Supporting?
adaptation.
No,
Adaptation. No, but even before that, she was nominated for The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
She was nominated also for Music of the Heart.
Yeah, One True Thing, and so on. Bridges in Madison
Madison
County goes on.
And so, yeah, she does have an incredible list of films. Like, this is the woman that every actress looks up to.
Yeah, I pretty much think if whatever Meryl Streep does, she'll be nominated for an Oscar.
Of course. She could play a man just like Glenn Close did in Albert Nobbs.
That'd be an instant nomination.
Right there. And speaking of Glenn Close, this is her first nomination since Fatal Attraction.
No, Dangerous Liaisons.
Dangerous Liaisons?
In 1989.
1989. And then we have Michelle Williams, back-to-back nominations last year for Blue Valentine, with which she co-starred with Ryan Gosling. And she was but her first nomination was for Best Supporting Actress in Brokeback Mountain.
Yes.
So this is her 3rd nomination. She's come such a long way from Dawson's Creek into the actress that everybody knows her to be.
Yeah, because if you just watch, I think anyone would say this, if you just watch a trailer of My Week with Marilyn, you definitely, it's exactly Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, it's almost scary that she's exactly like Marilyn Monroe in every sense. Just her posture,
the
her
gestures,
grace,
everything. And
her mannerisms, the way she talks is exactly the way Marilyn Monroe would speak to another male suitor. And I think all 5 of these women are just incredible, deserving. In the end, however, it's gonna go, I think, to Viola Davis.
Yeah, this one's more of a toss-up, kind of like the Best Actor category, which you'll get to.
Yeah,
but I think with Meryl Streep's got the powerhouse of Harvey and Bob Weinstein backing her in the campaign. So you never, if Harvey and Bob Weinstein are backing you, especially in an Oscar campaign, don't count them out.
The Weinsteins have had such an incredible
Michelle
impact.
Williams, too.
Michelle. They've had such an incredible impact in cinema in the last 10, 15 years, with their films.
Yeah,
last
definitely.
year, of course, The King's Speech, too. So they're really making their mark on Hollywood. And now every year, I think we're going to be seeing more and more Best Pictures from the Weinstein Company.
Yeah, like another example would be, when I say don't underestimate anyone who they're backing, is the fact that in '99, when Shakespeare in Love probably pulled off one of the biggest upsets when they totally upset Saving Private Ryan for the Best Picture award.
Yeah, Spielberg won that year for Best Director.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are years like that. But we'll get into more of the Director and Picture Awards later in the show. But first, in Best Actress, I think Viola Davis should win. I think her role was just so strong. She had such iconic lines, like the one, "Miss Hilly, you are such a godless woman." That line right there was so powerful in the film that you just were taken aback, and you realized that she wasn't going to take it anymore. The injustice and that she was seeing around her, and she said the reason that she talked to Skeeter, two reasons: one, God, and Miss Hilly Thornton. Hilly really is the reason why these maids rebelled against
God and the devil.
The devil. Well, and that was Hilly. She was the devil, in that town, and she was the town racist, and that's why all the maids, in fact, decided to talk to Skeeter. But especially Viola's character, she did it so well that you truly, and I mean truly, connected with Abilene.
Absolutely.
And you rooted for her all the way, especially at the very end. And I just. And the fact that she won the Broadcast Critics' Choice, she's won the Golden Globe already. Actually, no, she didn't win the Golden Globe. That went to Meryl Streep that night, as well as Michelle Williams that night, for two different categories. Meryl for drama and Michelle for musical or comedy.
Which was kind of ridiculous.
I know.
Considering that it wasn't. I don't think it was a musical. There was one. The opening sequence was a musical sequence of Marilyn Monroe doing Heat Wave, but that was about it.
They even said that about the Tourist years ago when Johnny Depp was nominated. Yeah. But that's a whole other can of worms.
That's why at the beginning when they were introducing that category, Seth Rogen said. And for the hilarious comedy, My Week with Marilyn.
And it's true. It's like, how...
And they know it, too. That's why they laughed.
It's not really a comedy. It's really an insight about Marilyn Monroe's week in London.
It's the polar opposite, actually.
Yeah, and how she developed... a potential love affair with Eddie Redmayne's character, and how people told the kid that you shouldn't trust this because, Marilyn Monroe, she's a player.
She's got a history.
She's definitely got a history with men. Joe DiMaggio, Arthur Miller, two, iconic people in different fields. But besides the Golden Globes, Viola Davis came back at SAG and won that evening. So I think, what's going to happen is come BAFTA this Sunday, on February 12th, you're going to see, I think, Meryl Streep or Michelle, most likely Meryl win because of the fact that she played Margaret Thatcher, and it's the British Academy.
Yeah, and BAFTA, just for anyone out there watching who doesn't know what BAFTA is basically the British equivalent to the Oscars that's held every year. So, I think Meryl Streep's definitely got an advantage there just for the fact that she... is playing Margaret Thatcher, who was the British Prime Minister of the UK.
And the most controversial, especially
one of them.
with the wars in the Falkland Islands.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right there, and you see how her life was played out, how she had, behind the curtain, everything wasn't rosy. In fact, she had people within her own cabinet questioning her decisions. She was even put up for a vote of no confidence, which you can do in England. You're allowed to actually expel your prime minister if you feel as though he's not doing the right job. You can't do that here in the States.